The Rainbow family?
Those are Reverend Jim's children. Orphans he's adopted. Oldest son's black. You're a genius. Jim and his wife adopted him at birth in Indiana. You have kids?
I don't do organized religion.
It's all about spiritualism. It's about giving back.
We count down the seconds until confession. Mondays is science. Tuesdays is ancient civilizations of Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Wednesdays is geopolitics. Thursdays is public speaking. Fridays is music, crafts, and creative writing. No TV. Watching is as bad as shooting smack, Dad says. Even that show Good Times, because they always want to zip coon us.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I was down on my knees praying for the umpteenth time, family.
Yes.
Praying for deliverance from this accursed insomnia.
Yes.
When I realized this is lies. What they used to rape, pillage, and enslave us.
Yes.
What they used to rip us from the rich lands of Africa.
Yes.
Put us into chains.
Well, I'll be damned.
Answer me this.
Yeah.
Why would a merciful, all-powerful, all-knowing God
Worldwide.
allow poor black people to starve on the street of the richest country on the planet?
Preach.
A country that's practically got a nuclear warhead for every able-bodied person living and breathing. Answer me that!
Right.
These two sisters went to their first service tonight.
Oh, right on.
I'm Devera.
She is one of the most talented writers in the Bay.
Okay. The temple is canvassing for Moscone's mayoral campaign. I'm covering it. The Rev's message agree with you?
My sister dragged me to church. She sniffed out a free meal with that bloodhound nose of hers. Plenty of times I got my butt kicked when I was little for being the weird one. And the assholes who dogged me got gold stars. So that cured me of God and magical thinking real quick.
And you?
I'm the agnostic fence sitter, or so she says.
You are. So what promises has Moscone made to black folk?
The usual. Jobs, anti-poverty programs, an honorary seat at the police commission's table after the pigs cracked heads in Fillmore.
And an end to black folk getting kicked out of our homes.
He talks a good game, but you can't trust these shuck and jive politicians, white or black, to stick their necks out and buck the redeveloper parasites from gutting our neighborhoods. They fucked over the Japanese when they threw them out of here during World War II. Now it's our turn.
But that's why we gotta snag this guy. Otherwise, we'll just be niggas diving for table scraps.
Well, Big Sis here just took a job with one of the biggest accounting firms in the city.
Ah, Miss Fly and the buttermilk.
The buttermilks come to the ghetto now. If the city had its way, half of middle America will be up in here, and black folks will be renting boys in the Bay. Speak of the devil and she appears. Miss Anne and her minion.
In class, everybody, even the slow, dumb ones, is encouraged to speak up. And nah, nobody is higher or better than anybody else. And nah, the blinds that were prettiest in the white American world ain't superior to nobody here. My teacher, Mrs. Markham, put my poem on the wall and said, "Black is beautiful."
Mrs. Markham, you have such a lovely home. Moving soon?
In a few weeks, after our spiritual jubilee down in Los Angeles. Please, sit down. Tea?
I hear a lot of work went into that confab.
Oh yeah, one of my students is reciting an excerpt from Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail.
Fitting. Los Angeles is just day-glow Jim Crow with dirty beaches and endless sunshine.
Beaches for white folks. When we came out here from Tuscaloosa in the 50s, all those beaches were spook-free zones. LAPD would be all over us if we so much as dipped a toe in the parking lot or batted an eye at Blondie in her bikini.
Tuscaloosa, huh?
Mm-hmm. Came out in the winter of 55, a few years before I had my son Byron. I was too mouthy for that pinhead headmaster at the Negro Girls' School where I was teaching at back there.
And how did you land at the temple?
Some of the women at my former church had kids who were involved in the temple sports and music programs. My Byron plays the trumpet, classically trained since he was 7.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm. And you, Mrs. Lassiter, how did you become involved? I mean, I know you've had a long association with the Reverend.
I started covering the church in the late 50s. Organized a few sit-ins, boycotts with the Rev, in good old Indiana Klan country. Back then, he put the B in bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
I followed your work, all of it back then. You have a fine record of journalism and distinguished service in the community.
Thank you.
Which makes it, your little dalliance, all the more curious.
That was decades ago.
He was a married man.
How is that relevant to our conversation?
You were screwing a younger white boy with a family. I'm just trying to establish the chronology for your extracurricular involvement.
An impressionable young buck led astray by Jezebel.
If the dirty shoe fits.
Have you had any offers on the house?
A few. An agent from the church is handling it.
From the church?
Mm-hmm. Proceeds from the sale will go to support our communal apartments and the building of the settlement in South America.
The so-called Jonestown colony?
Oh, there's nothing so-called about it, Mrs. Lassiter. We're building our own nation. Ours. A nation of many races. A paradise in a black-ruled country.
That is madness. If you people keep deeding your homes to the temple, what will be left for your son? The community, the future of the black people in this neighborhood.
A future? Here? Do you have children, Mrs. Lassiter?
No.
Okay, borrow some for a while. Or better yet, if that's too strenuous for you, just drop in on a schoolroom of black children and get a deep whiff of the poison that's spoon-fed by the white school moms who flee the ghetto in terror seconds after the bell rings, and then talk to me about a future.
I feel like I can't breathe.
You gotta calm yourself, babe. Let other people in. Find something to do that motivates you.
I can't get motivated. Busting my ass digging string bean plots that'll never grow 5 days a week.
What? You too good to do field work? That was part of the trade-off, babe. No one's gonna do it for us. just like the black homesteaders who...
Well, spare me the Black History Month speech.
The feds and all those other bloodsuckers want nothing more than to see us fail. That's why they planted their spies.
Oh, please! Open your fucking eyes! Nobody cares enough about this armpit to do that, Jess. We're the only ones dumb enough to leave the States en masse without a plan or a way back. Shit, the government is probably asking Jim, why don't you take some more Negroes with you? And while you're at it, take all the ghettos of Detroit, Watts, Newark, and Harlem and dump them here in Jonestown.
Right. That's why the congressman is coming next month. For a nice collegial visit.
He's coming to rescue the white folk.
That doesn't make him any less of a threat.
I'm not going.
You can't stay here. They'll be doing sweeps.
Sniffing out our big night of passion.
I have to go. They want me to do an intake with the new people, get them oriented. I'll only be a little while, babe. Look, this whole process will take maybe 6 months to a year. And then we'll have enough money saved to start our business in Cuba. Nobody be able to touch us.
Right, they hate queers there too, Jess. Okay? They'll persecute us and put us into labor camps.
So this is where you've been holed up? I've been looking for you for an hour.
What for?
Do you know where Lover Girl was last night?
Her name is Jess.
You didn't answer my question.
My teacher says there are white mushroom clouds spreading over LA and San Francisco, coming in slow and quiet on little cat feet.
Wisdom copied Nancy's math test when she wasn't looking. Oh, and Janet got her rocks off in the second bunk 3 nights in a row. Greer spread rumors about drugging in the infirmary. What? And Stanley and Levitt plotted to save money to buy tickets to fly into Miami and leave in the middle of the night. No. Then, raping little Zach. What?
Now, Stanley and Levitt, that's some pretty serious shit. Not sure why you'd do a blame stupid thing like try and sneak and get plane tickets out of here when you didn't have a pot to piss in to begin with.
Maybe what they need is a little corrective instruction from the education group.
Yes, I think so.
How brave of you to suggest that. 4 weeks of hard labor for some shit you just invented out of thin air.
Don't all see the North Koreans and the Soviets shrinking like pussies from a little hard work. Well, I got word this morning that they're torching East Philadelphia. Right as we speak, the jackboots are raiding the last neighborhood community center set up by the Panthers.
No.
68.
No.
It's a dress rehearsal.
Yes, it
A walk in the park for what they do here if we're not fucking prepared.
That's right.
Anybody that gets put on education or down in the pit, know that we do it out of love.
Love, that's right, love. We were just joking, Father. It's hard trying to live like this.
Well, you should have thought about that before you moved here. You're taking up space that could have accommodated somebody who really wanted to be here and make a contribution.
That's right.
I mean, we have a hard time enough as it is holding it down without all these turncoats sneaking around.
That's right.
Next up is Greer.
Greer didn't do nothing.
Looks like Mr. Vera here is sweet on him. And who wouldn't be?
Jess McPherson, for one. Seems she and her girlfriend Taryn have been fucking in the seniors cabin.
We were approved to use that cabin. And what we do is our business. So your little gambit to discredit me has failed.
Nobody's business is private, Jess. You know that.
Jess here knows better by now. She ain't the indiscriminate, fucking like jackrabbits all the time kind. Oh, I can fuck better and longer than all you lip-dicked Lotharios combined. But there is someone else here who needs checking. Correct?
You're such a good prosecutor of other folk. Such a good archivist of misdeeds. You need to mind your own affairs. Your nephew enlightened us on how you really feel about this community. Your disdain for it. How you just biding your time waiting on the congressman to come investigate us. Just waiting to play Aunt Jemima for the fashion.
You lying bitch.
I take it these aren't yours either? Yeah.
Those are to my family.
Show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Ooh.
Read it.
Looks like Sister Z here got talents here we didn't know about. A fine ear for the purple prose. You give Jess here a run for her money as a literary maven. Dear Mommy, my soul is wilting in the jungle heat like a crushed chrysanthemum. What the fuck you gonna do to Mommy to keep her from ratting us out to the fascists? The Simon the Greek fuckers who would throw us back on the slave ship.
That's right. I'm